of the United States of America. That is number 4 in line to be the president of the United States of America. He was born in Harlem and basically was raised in Bronx, in New York City, in the United States of America. His parents were from the Caribbean, were from the island of Jamaica. And Mr. Colin Powell, he was conditioned to be an African American at the end of his life. But at the beginning of his life, he was conditioned to be black, to be negro, to be a color code human. He never said he was a United States of America national. He created the power doctrine, limiting the American military actions if they were not in the interest of America. He wrote books. He wrote books. He wrote an autobiography named My American Journey. My American Journey. And another book named It Worked for Me. It Worked for Me. And if you follow the color code in his head, you follow his entire career, you now have to ask the question, where Mr. Colin Powell learned to be an American, learned to be an African American. Well, he went to, he went to New York City public school. That is where he began his education. His how can I say, communal education, his social education in New York City schools. So after New York City school, it was about 1954. You have to understand that in 1954, the schools in the United States of America were segregated, and he was living in Harlem. Harlem was, and today is called black neighborhood. Black, Hispanic, Latin neighborhoods. They are lesser than white neighborhood. So you have to put this in perspective, where he learned to be an American and where he learned to be an African American. And this is my purpose. My purpose is to tell you how works, how truly the United States of America work, how their leadership is put in place, and by whom. So now, he went to a New York City school in 1954, remember the segregation. Then he went to New York City colleges, City College of New York City. So he continued a public education. He continued to be indoctrinated, to be conditioned by the white American English, white American Yanks, to be an African American, to learn to be an African American, to learn to be an American, to learn to be black, to learn to be negro, to learn to be a color-coded human. So now he went to Georgetown University in the District of Columbia. What is happening in Georgetown University today? They continue to teach their students, condition their students, that their nationality is American, and that they are American, and everybody's American. That is how crazy we are right now. We continue to do exactly what we did in 1865. So now he went to the National War College. And this, to me, is a national security issue of the United States of America. Because when you have the leadership of our soldiers, the people who defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and the people who swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, what they've been taught in these war colleges is that they are not United States of America nationals, that they are Americans. And that is a very important detail, because if you are an American, you are not a United States of America national. You have no vested interest in the Constitution of the United States of America. So that is why the students, they go to Harvard, Georgetown University, when they finish their conditioning, their education, they are questioning the Constitution of the United States of America. That is an amazing, that our enemies are instructing our nationals not to be our nationals. Colin Powell is a number one example of this situation that we have today. So now, let me continue on. He learned to be a soldier from Henry E. Emerson, General Henry E. Emerson. Emerson was the most racist of all people in the Vietnam War. I mean, this guy really was something. So what happened is that he took Mr. Colin Powell under him to condition him, to help him fight what was happening at that time during the Vietnam War. During the Vietnam War, we have people like Martin Luther King Jr. fighting for that equality, telling everyone, hey, listen, we are Negros, but we do not want to be Negros anymore. And that is why you see the speeches of Martin Luther King saying, talking, and every time he mentioned who he was, he said he was a Negro, because he was conditioned to be a Negro. So Mr. General Henry, he took Mr. Colin with him to control the militancy of people conditioned to be Negros in the military, and to the point that when there were riots inside the United States military, and they sent Mr. Colin Powell to put them down. So you see, they utilizing a biology that is conditioned to be white American English, black, negro, all type of color, and this biology knows to succeed, he must become a white American English. He must support the white American English so he can advance himself. That is what he named the book that he wrote. It worked for me. Yes, it worked for you. Sure, Mr. Colin Powell. In peace you rest. Every time that you perpetually advance yourself and do not advance your fellow man, you will advance as a single individual, but you will fail to advance humanity. And that is the difference. The difference in between Colin Powell and, let's say, you up there walking the streets of New York City, looking around and saying, my God, what we have become, and how can I advance my fellow humans, is that they are advancing themselves. They are not thinking in advancing humanity, and we must replace that way of thinking. And that way of thinking is being taught every single day in our public schools, in our universities, and most important, in our war colleges. The war college students, they are no longer defending the United States of America. They are defending white American English. And who control the white American English? the English oligarchy, the industrialist. That is the problem that we have. So now, when Mr. Collin come out with these strategies, he did not name these strategies by the name of our country, the United States of America. They name these strategies as America, the name of a continent. And that is very important. As yesterday and today, when our nation are so conditioned that we no longer eloquently respond to a question, what nationality are you? That you don't know what nationality you belong to, and you get so confused. From doctors to teachers to truck drivers to, I don't know, the person who works on your post office. When you ask them, what nationality are you? And they have no idea how to answer that correctly. They start telling you, like in my case, I was so embarrassed when I asked Joe Alpaido in Maricopa County, Mr. Joe Alpaido, what nationality are you? And he responds that he was an Italian. That is a problem that we have. But the problem that we have is in our soldiers and also the people who police our streets every day, the people who work for the CIA, the people who work for the FBI, the people who work for our transportation departments, the people who work for the Department of Justice, Department of Defense, the people who are running our nation, the United States of America. If you ask any of them, what nationality are you? And they telling you that they are white, that they are Italian, that they are Haitian, and that they are African, and that they are colors of all type, white Americans. They tell you all this craziness. That is a problem. And that problem is created by our enemies. Our enemies are creating that division, that lack of unity, that lack of ethnicity. So we need to replace that. And column power is the typical example of what is happening. Our president of the United States of America, Joe Biden, is a conditioned man. He is a man that is put in there to divide us. And he believes that he's an American. He does believe that he is the American president. Not only that, he is supported by all these foreign information industry that they are continuing in perpetuity, transferring that learning, erroneous learning. We need to stop these people from completely destroying our identity, the United States of America identity. We must defend the Constitution of the United States of America everywhere, from War College to Georgetown, to Harvard University, to Fox News, to CNN, to NPR, to Walmart, to the post office. We must regain our imperium unum. We need to regain our true identity, our true Roman identity that is posted in symbols around our nation's capital, the District of Columbia. We need to return to who we really are. We are the people who make the balance on this planet. We cannot weight our balance onto the English and forget about the Spaniards and the French and the rest of Europe and the rest of the continents of this planet. We cannot become English. We never have been English. We have never been American. And as you see, our leaders have become Americans, have become white American English. And Colin Powell, in peace you rest. You are responsible for that division. Saludos.